Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Simply Nerdy. I am your host, Austin, and we have a very awesome episode for you today as we're approaching Halloween. I have Steve and Anthony here to review Bendy and the Ink Machine, which is a little indie game that they went into this game pretty blind. They had no idea what to anticipate. I'll kind of let them give their thoughts, but it is a creepy game. It's a little spooky, but it's not crazy in terms of the horror slasher gore. It's pretty mild and tame in that regards, but it is still quite spooky. I don't know.
Which means it's right up my alley.
Oh yeah. But would love to get your thoughts. See what you guys thought about the game.
So I'll jump in real quick. I like Austin said, I didn't know what to expect going into this game. I mean, it definitely the design of the thumbnail and and the typography kind of gave a sense that it was a little bit of a thriller, I guess you could say. But it was a lot darker than I expected. In all honesty, there was so what the art style kind of led me to think that it was going to be almost Cuphead adjacent. Like it was going to be, maybe existentially creepy, but not necessarily jump scare level or just pure horror. Is kind of what I was expecting. And so, going into it and realizing that it was straight up horror and some, like the running away from an invincible evil enemy type gameplay, it was not at all what I expected. And I honestly found it pretty compelling. It was a very different direction than I was expecting, and it was kind of fun to be along for the ride and see what was happening. I don't know.
Absolutely. I'll jump. Same thing. Yeah, I had no idea what to expect. Went into this blind. The best way to do it, really. Like Anthony said, it got pretty dark pretty quick. Did not expect it. Was very pleasantly surprised. The atmosphere here, like they did such a good job. The sound design, chef's kiss. Yeah, super creepy atmosphere with the music in the background or no music whatsoever. And then just the sound design of like you're walking in the room or the ink or what have you. Like the sound just made this experience absolutely incredible, to the point where I actually screamed a couple times. You can watch our playthrough. Here. Here's the card.
Yep.
And
over there, that side.
Over there. My screen is mirrored, man. Over here. So good. The sound is probably the highlight here for me. We did play on Nintendo Switch, so it was a little bit more choppy probably than on any other platform, but we're Nintendo guys, so of course we'll play on Switch.
Yeah, and it wasn't just the FPS choppiness too. His controls were kind of clunky.
Yeah, the controls are a little bit wonky.
Yeah.
Yes, a couple of times the controls gave us some grief, but also the art style. Dang, I love that art style. The
sepia, kind of sepia style. Yeah,
sepia. It was so good, and I don't know. It was great. I had a really good time playing this.
One of the things I'll say that was kind of a surprising realization is normally I would say that horror isn't my favorite genre, but after playing this game I began to realize there's actually a niche of horror that I do enjoy. It tends to be the kind that is devoid of gore because I don't. You've said, Steve, it's not scary, it's tacky. I kind of
it is.
am in the same boat.
Mm-hmm. Not Bendy, but you're talking about just threat.
Right. I like it when they can tell a really compelling horror thriller story, and kind of have you always wanting to know like what is going on, without needing to make it gruesome. So, but that being said, from a psychological standpoint, they did not pull any punches. We'll probably include some sort of statement either earlier in the video or in the text warning you that this is spoilers. Steven was earlier saying the best way to play this game is blind, so if you don't want it spoiled, then stop listening and come back after you played it. But
should we give a score first and then have a spoiler section?
Yes.
Well, okay.
Yeah, I didn't know. Sorry, I forgot that was a thing. So yeah,
pretty
just a
short.
heads up, everybody. We don't want to give spoilers, so let's go ahead and get your guys' thoughts on maybe your overall score for the game, and then we'll talk about some of the spoilers and why you rated it, what you did. So for those who are interested, after hearing the score, feel free to tune out and go check out the game, or go watch our playthrough of it, and then come back and watch the rest of this video. So go ahead, guys, take it away.
I'm gonna give this game an 8 out of 10. I'm gonna give it 8 out of 10 simply because of the quirkiness of the controls at some points and that lackluster ending, which we'll get into in a minute.
Well, and I suppose some people would probably say that that's that's a personal opinion, which I can definitely understand. But I'm in a similar boat. Yeah. I was thinking kind of the same thing. I thought in terms of, as I was saying, in terms of the narrative, always keeping me guessing, and just the compelling approach to horror, that made me, that was a lot of fun. But there was definitely some moments where I'm like, this game wasn't made for this kind of gameplay, and it's showing.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so yeah, I'd say 8 out of 10 is pretty fair. It was fun enough, and enough of a cliffhanger that I'm definitely intrigued to play the second one. Although,
Oh yeah, which we just found out that they released that 2 years ago, and they've just announced a third game. So that's
Or at least
exciting.
teased it.
It teased it, yeah. Yep.
you'd already played it, Austin, but I suppose maybe you still want to review it.
Sure, I'd love to. It had been 2019, so 5 years ago that I think I played this game, or 2018, and this was a recommendation from a good friend and coworker of mine from back then, and he let me borrow the game. I played through it with another buddy of mine, which some people have probably seen on the Hailstorm channel from years ago. But it's I really enjoyed it for what it was. I'm not big into, like you guys said, just the thriller, slasher, gory stuff. But this is, I felt like this is pretty tame. Yes, it's still dark. Yes, there's a lot of jump scares and very creepy, dark moments. Yeah, dark themes to this game in general. And so I wouldn't recommend it for, children younger than, their early teen years. I'd say early teen and up is probably a good spot for this. But listen, if you can't even handle the mild horror, then just go watch Casper. You'll be fine. Just go watch Casper. This is like
throwing some shade there.
I feel like this is a good level of there's no gore, there's ink because he's. Oh, we're getting into spoiler section, by the way. So if you didn't,
okay, you haven't given your score yet, though.
Oh, that's fair. Let me give my score. Gosh darn it. Okay, so I would rate this. You guys are being so generous. I feel so bad. I would have given this a 7.5.
Oh, there we go.
I feel like my score has changed, though. I feel like I would have rated it like 8.5 when I first played the game. Seeing some of the issues now and seeing it from kind of your guys' experience as I was there watching you play it, I was kind of like, oh yeah, no, that's very not user-friendly. Some parts of the story were kind of iffy. So it also gave me hope for the next iteration of the series. After seeing the trailer, I was like, oh, that looks like it could be really good. And so maybe because this one's a step below, and it's just because it was their first game, Joey Drew Studios and the Meat Lee that developed this, and it's an indie game, so they definitely put a lot of love into it, but you can tell that it's very basic. It hasn't been quite fully fleshed out, but even then it's a beautiful game with a lot of really good assets and animations and all sorts of fun stuff. And the whole sepia art, I think that was intentional. I don't think that was due to a lack of art or anything. So let me just put that out there. I think that added to the feel.
If I can just jump in and add a thought connected to that. The thing that I like about Bendy and just, Joey Drew Studios' work in general is that I feel like in our modern game era, where people are inventing the idea of quadruple A games. It feels like the standard is, we get a pretty looking game with no substance. And I like how this game is almost the opposite. Like, it's not necessarily going to turn any heads in terms of its visual style, other than the kind of artistry on display is still well done. But I like how they represent like I said, the opposite, in the sense that they made a really compelling narrative story gameplay loop despite the limitations. And so that's some of the highest praise I can give it. I'm very critical of the modern idea of power first and then gameplay, and I really like giving the spotlight to games that flip the narrative.
Absolutely.
Anyway, sorry.
Definitely. Yeah. Thank you. Well, why don't we go ahead and jump into the spoilery section? That's a hard word to say. So those of you who don't want the game spoiled, and like I said before, if you want to check out our playthrough first and then come back and listen to the spoilery section, spoilers, then be gone. Peace.
Be gone. Anthony, do you want to start? Do you want to start with the ending, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, I guess maybe that'll kind of spin out the rest of my thoughts. So I think I had a little bit of whiplash with the ending because it didn't answer the questions I wanted answered.
Same.
There was a lot of things there. Well, so one of the things that left up in the air, one that I'm still trying to figure out, for example, is it basically establishes the game as a sort of time loop that just keeps repeating. You start off the game arriving at the studio. You're playing as Henry. He's one of the artists and one of the main contributors to the success of the studio before leaving for different pastures, if you will. And a lot of time has passed, and the person who is the owner of the studio, Joey Drew, who he was very good friends with, gives him a cryptic message saying, there's something I want to show you at the studio. Can you come by? And so the game starts with you arriving there and saying, all right, what did you want me to see? And then you kind of start exploring, and then from there it kind of gets deeper and darker as you go. But when you get to the end of the game, you defeat the big evil, and and then it's kind of going to the credits type of thing. There's a scene where and this is something that I'm still trying to figure out if there's a narrative meaning to this. You're seeing this house. It's in full color. It's not sepia. And you go into this room and you talk to Joey Drew, the guy who's the owner of the studio. And he's an old man, and he's having this conversation with you about his work with the studio. And that's when he asks you to go see it. And then the game ends with you arriving there just right where the game began. And my immediate thought was pretty harsh whiplash. I was like, no, I hate time loops. Oh my gosh, I hate time loops. I nothing drives me, well, not nothing, but few things drive me as crazy as the idea of, wow, all that I just did was basically for nothing. And now I'm it's just like Twilight Zone, do, okay, that's the end. Well, that's not what I'm here for. Anyway, so that was a little frustrating to me, but now I'm trying to figure out narratively if there's more to it, because one of the things that you get at the end, near the end of the first playthrough, is this looking glass, like Eye of Truth type thing, where you can see hidden messages scrawled on the walls, and the game gives hints that it's messages written by you in previous loops. Mm-hmm. And so, I'm trying to figure out what that's supposed to mean, and if there's some sort of, secret ending that you can pursue if you follow the messages properly, or whatever, what have you. And also, part of me wonders now if the delineation. So, like you see the meeting with Joey Drew in color, and then when you get to the studio, it's in sepia. So, are they saying that this is already like not reality? It's a movie. Like,
see, But that's what I love about the game, is that it's very much open to interpretation, but they give you clues here, so people can theorize, people can conspire and create I don't know, their thoughts about what's actually going on. But he does drop little clues here and there. The fact that you go from like a colored house, you go through a door immediately into the sepia environment, makes it feel very dreamlike, right? And it's one of the things that that Joey tells Henry is, oh no, not Joey, sorry. There's like this voice of a child that you hear that says, "Tell me another one, Uncle Joey," or Uncle or something. And so that to me is also like, oh, so is this a story that he was telling? And if that's the case, again, it just adds to the whole ethereal, just mystical part of it, that this isn't reality. But anyway, I don't know where I was going with that, but it just, that's what I loved about the game, is that a lot of people have speculated, and there's a lot of really deep theories that I've gone and read online about what this means, about the whole looping thing that you said, where Henry is taking notes for himself to read and warn himself about what's going to occur, so that he can change his fate the next time he plays through, which I think adds value to the replayability of the game.
It's true.
Well.
It's true. I have to give it that.
But
that is absolutely true.
The question that's still in my head is, if you replay it and read the messages and try to do something different, can the game go in a different direction? Like, can the plot end up
Will it be altered? Right. Will it alter the reality?
There is a secret ending.
So they say.
If you do it.
So
they say.
Yeah, I'm still not convinced of that, because I, one of my ways with dealing with the whiplash of the ending is I immediately started replaying to see what the messages said and see if we could find out how to get the ending I wanted. And we looked up stuff on YouTube, and there's this person who's like, it's a secret ending, and then he shows a video and there's like, has absolutely nothing to do with secret endings, and I'm like, well, not following you.
Secret ending my butt. Just kidding.
So I don't know. Here's my take. I enjoy a good twist. Even a psychological, like, I don't know how to interpret this, and I guess I have to kind of create my own canon, if you will, type thing.
Well, I like Christopher Nolan's movies. Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
Nolan's.
I can enjoy those if I'm given enough reason to believe that my conclusion is viable. Now, because I don't like when I'm like, oh wow, that was such a bad ending that I'm just going to completely rewrite things in my head canon and then just have that be my conclusion. Like, perfect example is Inception. Okay.
Yep.
That movie was incredible.
Yep.
Very, very well done, very clever. But I'll tell you, and I was on pins and needles right at the very end. If they had not given that minuscule little wobble of the totem, I would have insta-hated that movie. Because there would have been no reason for me to be able to conclude that it was going to wobble. Basically, the messaging would have been, it never wobbled, he's in the dream world. Oh my gosh, that's such a big twist. And I'm like, no, I hate you. No, it's nothing. He's still depressingly stuck in a dream, not with his kids. His wife's dead, and that's how you end. So like, I would not have been okay with that. So when, as I was watching and the rage was building in my brain, like, are they really going to do this to me? They gave that tiny little wobble, and then
just enough to
went to black.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you just saved your movie.
But
Then I was like,
still no definitive answer, but
there's still no definitive answer.
But like you said, it
can
makes
make
it
your own.
viable. Yeah.
I have a piece of evidence that allows me to come to my conclusion that he was finally out of the dream world. And that was what I needed.
Yeah.
I needed something that gave my conclusions weight.
Yes.
And so, that's what I look for when it comes to these psychological twists. And I don't know if Bendy gave that to me. That's what I'm still
trying
a
to figure it out.
about.
Yeah.
Yes, which is why I give it a point doc.
So that being said, the narrative and like the twists were, like I said, several times, shockingly compelling. This whole Bendy demon character was genuinely terrifying. Nightmare fuel.
Yeah, well, a lot of them too. The goodness me, the Boris, the big hunk
Yes.
Boris, the
Big
Chungus
hunk
Boris,
Yeah.
big Chungus, and then the three. What do they call the three? The Butcher Gang.
The Butcher
Ooh,
Gang.
the
Oh,
Butcher
yeah.
Gang were terrifying. The sounds that they made. That
Yeah,
was
the sounds that they make are creepy. Like I said,
Yeah.
sound design. Whoever did sound design, well done.
yeah.
And the projectionist, like
The projectionist,
Oh my gosh,
oh,
he
yeah.
scared
Oh my
the crap out of me, and I screamed several times when we ran into him. Like,
Scariest moment in the game for me was a moment when, it was the second time you encounter the projectionist, and we'd learned the first time around, like, the best thing you can do is just follow closely behind him. That way you're not surprised by him when he comes around the corner. You're just behind him the whole time. And so and it didn't seem like he really heard sounds much. It seemed like a visual detection kind of thing. So I'm sneaking along behind him, and there's a switch I need to flip. And so I wait until he's a little ways down. I flip the switch, and he instantly turns around, and I just scream my head off, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, you didn't see me do it! Oh my god!" So then I run off that
into the box. Well, for some reason, you're
pleased.
safe in the box.
Then also I was like, "Hey, that was good. That got me good." Anyway.
Oh yeah.
None of us were expecting that. Oh,
No.
that was terrifying.
And the guy, okay. This is my one major complaint against the game, other than of course what I was just talking about with the plot and what I feel it did or didn't give it to me. The guy controls like he's
Yes.
walking with a cane or like a walker or something like that.
Yeah.
Like
Motion's
the
very
worst-
slow.
worst part of the game for me was the fight against the brute Boris, because this guy he can run 2.2 miles an hour. That's how fast he can go. And you can only do it going forward. And
Yes.
and there, I swear, please, if you're able to dodge that pile driver move that he does, the leaping pile driver,
Jumping move, yes.
pile haymaker, whatever you call that. If you have succeeded in dodging, please, share a clip and show me how it's done.
But it has to be done
I
on the
tried-
Nintendo Switch.
I
On the
yes.
Nintendo Switch.
Yeah,
I
that's
tried
fair.
so many times. I'm like, okay, running away doesn't work, so I'll run toward him and see if I can go underneath. Nope, that didn't work. All right, I'll see if I can jank to the side. Nope, that didn't work.
Running
And every
backwards.
time I was running full, I don't think I can do the guy a favor of calling it a sprint, a full amble at least, and every single time he hit me, and I was just like, well, it's a good thing this guy can apparently survive a full haymaker to the brain and sent flying,
Times.
several times, as long as you walk away long enough to recover. But oh my gosh, that part, I was like, this is almost ruining the game for me. It's a good thing this is the only part. That's the part I was referencing earlier. I'm like, this is not an action game. It should not have an action sequence in it.
Right.
This is not. Anyway,
Mhm.
there you go. There's my rant. Hashtag end rant.
I was just going to add to that. Like this game is not a difficult game. It's really a hodgepodge of fetch quests, and you search for interactable items or switches and things that you need to progress into the story. And even the boss fights are boss fights. There's like one or two fights really. The last boss, where it's just Demon Bendy running around, is hardly a fight as well. You're just again flipping switches and then escaping. And then of course there's the Boris fight. There was the Carnival spinning
Spinning
ride.
fight.
Yep, that one was a little bit more of a boss fight. I could argue that.
That's true.
But these boss fights didn't really come around until chapter 4. I felt like
Forever.
before that you were
Near
just
the end.
fighting enemies, and most of the time it was with a little lead pipe, instead of your
That lead
axe,
pipe sucked. Give me an axe.
right?
Give me
Yeah,
an
they
axe.
gave that thing so many times. I'm like, stop. hate
I
this
did.
thing.
I did actually really like the fight where you're surrounded by all of the ink monsters,
At the
and
end
you're
of
fighting
chapter
with you're fighting with Boris and with Alice Angel, and
That's nice.
I thought that was quite fun. Oh man, I jumped so bad when I played this game, and I took out was it Sammy, the guy with the mask, right?
Yes.
When you take him out, and he's like, "No, don't look at me," And I go up to him and I'm like, what's going on? And then he grabs you.
Yeah.
I jumped so bad when I played this game. I was not expecting that. But that whole fight scene was pretty fun to play.
I feel like I need to go back now and watch your playthrough on your Hailstorm channel so I can see how you reacted to things.
You want to just watch me scream the whole time because I'm a
that's
baby.
good. I'm glad it wasn't just me.
Turn the favor.
There you go. Yeah, a little plug for my old channel then, I guess. We'll put a link in the description for anyone that's interested. But yeah, it was a super fun ride. Needless to say, it's a great thriller. Little short game. I think we played it. We probably finished it in about 6 hours total. I've gotten, when you guys watch the video here on YouTube, it'll probably be a total of 2 hours, if even that, probably an hour and a half. So yeah,
You're welcome.
Get past all parts where we're lost and wandering aimlessly, and or the part. Well, I'm sure Austin's going to make an outtakes part where he highlights how terrible I am at the shooting minigame.
The shooting in the game.
I could not believe they made that story gating. I'm like, this is unplayable.
Oh, that
was
terrible.
The moment when I realized this was made for a mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, that shooting thing. I wonder now. Now I want to go back and watch my replay and see if not to rub it in your face, but I'm like, watch me have done it in like one try.
Oh my
But it's
God.
probably not the case. It's
Dude,
probably not. Probably not.
I am
It looked
watching your
hard.
playthrough right now, and it looks like you're playing on PC.
Yes.
Is that right?
No. Wait. No. We played it on Switch because I have my
sure?
save data on the Switch. I borrowed the Switch game from my buddy,
Okay.
and so
Okay. Never mind. You're not playing on PC. I lied.
Well, I'll just put it. Oh wait, that doesn't help me. I was gonna say this guy has like 1,300 hours in Apex, but I'm like, oh, but that's on PC with mouse and keyboard.
I do have more experience with first person controls, reticle type things like playing Halo or whatever in the day. All those wasted years. So yeah. invested so I could pass the Bendy carnival attraction in one shot.
Invested with a capital I.
There you go.
Sanderson style. Anyway.
Well, great. Anything else you guys want to add before we wrap it up?
Just pleasantly surprised. And like I said, it made me want to look a little bit more into the horror genre. So I think that's pretty good accolade in and of itself. I'm definitely interested in looking at the second one. Although
Same.
I'm already ready to be disappointed because at least in terms of the plot, because it looks like this is not necessarily a sequel.
Or that it may not answer the questions that you're hoping it would. But
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Oh well.
yeah.
So, but I am interested in playing it. So that being said, I'm right in the same boat as Anthony. So I will most likely be picking up the second one whenever it goes on sale on Steam.
Yeah, if that's something that if that's something that you viewers are interested in, let us know. We'd be more than happy to do another recording session. Speak for myself, at least. I don't know about you guys, but love to play the game. And if you guys ask, you shall receive. So,
and we can all do it together this time for the first time.
It'd be
playing it first. Yeah, that'd be fun.
First playthrough for all of us. Yeah,
Be nice to see Austin screaming his head off a few times.
Along with us.
there you go. Yeah. Yep. Sweet. All right. Well, thanks again, you guys, for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe and ring that notification bell so you can be notified of all the awesome nerdy content we will be releasing in the future. And if you have played Bendy or you had some thoughts about this video, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Read your thoughts, I guess, technically. But
This is the horror genre. Let's go. Read the
yeah. So drop a comment and let us know what you'd like to see in the future from us if you want us to play something specific. Oh, don't forget to go to our Discord. We do have a Discord channel. We will put the link in the description below. And also, you are more than welcome to check out our merch, our shop, so you can get your very own Simply Essence of Austin t-shirt.
Yes!
Inside
It's a
joke.
running joke.
That's right.
Running joke in the Discord.
Yep. Awesome. Well, thank you guys again for tuning in. And until next time, Keep it nerdy.